What's up, Festival Tales podcast listeners? Welcome back for another episode this week. We've got some special guests for you, as we will announce after these few announcements. For starters, if you guys can please like, subscribe, and write a review for the podcast. We greatly appreciate that, as always. Secondly, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by The Stage, and that is EDM's central hub. It's a website, basically. You guys can check out all the content EDM, shuffle videos, festival content, podcasts, vlogs, you name it, they got it. All EDM stuff, so go check them out. And lastly, please submit your festival stories to the Google Drive. They're all anonymous, so we don't know who submits them, and no one will know who submits them. So please submit your crazy stories, because we want to read some more, and we definitely need a few more going in to the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
All right, Ade, anything else before we get going here?
Nope, we're super excited for our guests we have today, and they have some awesome stories. We got a little sneak peek, and so we're super excited for the guests we have.
Our guests today are the boys from Beyond the Beats, Samir and Alex. Say hello, boys. Say hello.
Yo, dude, what up? What up, Ade? Thank you guys so much for having us, man. Like, we're just big fans of what both of you are doing. So to be here on Festival Tales today is honestly, it's such an honor. We really appreciate you guys inviting us.
It really is an honor. I mean, I can't think of a better podcast to go on to talk about some festival tales. I mean, it's just, it's
For
nothing
sure.
like good stories from the festivals, man. So I'm a big fan of your podcast, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you guys.
There's something. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you
No,
there, man.
no,
But
go,
there's something about festivals that just produce the craziest stories, right? And that is obviously a mainstay of your podcast. And I just love that, like, you guys just find the craziest stories. And I'm pumped up that we get a chance to share our crazy stories as well, man. Because Alec and I, we've been doing this shit for, oh gosh, near 5 years at this point. So we've definitely accumulated some experiences along the way.
Well, we're excited to hear them. So, without further ado, what do we got? Who's going first? Who's sharing? Who's spilling the tea? Let's go. Who we got? Who we got?
Alec, I would love to hear your Croatia story, dude. I know you were talking about it before.
Ooh, Croatia.
No, I mean-
Yes, let's do it.
Are you picking me first because you said tea and I'm British? Is that what's going on here?
I don't see any Earl Grey over there, dude. You good?
No,
What are you
no,
drinking
no.
right now?
See, no Earl Grey. In fact, if I had Earl Grey, I'd have to have gin-infused Earl Grey. That's what's been my kick recently.
Ooh,
But,
a little gin.
yes,
All
it's
right,
pretty
all
good
right.
stuff. But all right, Croatia story. So I want you guys to picture yourselves in a beautiful island in Croatia. So you've got the Mediterranean, blue ocean, you've got beaches, and then on top of that, imagine if you were on this beach and you saw 5 separate clubs. That's right. This is called the Isle of Pak, Zrče Beach, and they literally have 5 outdoor clubs all along one beach. And on top of that, they got things like jet skis. They've got a bungee jump, so they literally have like a crane, and if it's like standing in like the beach area of it, and you can like bungee jump right over the water. So I mean, it's got pretty much everything
my
you
God.
want. So
Wow.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. it's absolutely It's like this is like I have to like it's hard to narrow down to one story because there's quite a few stories. But the festival I'm talking about here is that they host like events all year round, but the festival I'm talking about is Hideout. So shout out to all the people that have heard of Hideout, but it's a British put on show that takes place on Zrče Beach, and it's 5 days long, and it goes from noon, where they have like pool parties, beach parties, all the way through to about 7, 8 in the morning the next day, and that's for like 5 days in a row. Yeah,
Oh
it's
my.
some
Oh my
serious
gosh.
partying. I know. So if I had to take one, because as you can imagine, there's quite a few stories, but if I had to
Yeah.
take one thing away from that, it's both unfortunate but slightly funny because everything kind of turned out to be okay. But on the 3rd night, we went to go see Jax Jones. He was playing outside in one of the clubs there, and it was just absolutely jam-packed because Brits love Jax Jones, Europeans love Jax Jones, and he just has the best vibes possible. We were
Absolutely.
going with a buddy of ours, and you know we had pre-game pretty hard, so we were there, and then we kind of lost him a bit in the crowd. Like I went to go get another drink, my girlfriend and I, and we were going back to where we thought our buddy would be, and it turns out he was kind of gone. But we did see him with a group of girls, so I was like, okay, I mean he's single, it's like whatever, we'll see what happens. Like let him have his fun. But then what got a little bit concerning is that once we even like saw him making out with a girl, so like okay, we'll give him the space. Then we completely lost him, and we were like, okay, I don't know where it's going. Jack's shows just ended. Not sure where to go. Do these girls like kidnap him or something? What's going on? And this was like towards the beginning of the night, so this is like 8, 9 p.m. We looked outside of the club, couldn't see where he was, and then we just were like, okay, I guess he'll text us. I'm sure he's just having fun with the girls. But then, lo and behold, it was about 4 or 5 hours later, still no sign, no text, no nothing from our friend. So we're like, he's either been kidnapped by these girls in either a positive or a negative way. So I was like, okay, either way, he might be having fun, or something's wrong. So we were a little bit nervous, but we were like, okay, since it's getting towards the sunrise set and stuff, and there's not really connection out there, we weren't going to worry. We're just going to kind of, sync back up right at the end, because we have a meeting spot at the end where we're going to go walk back to our apartments. But before we got to that, I think it was like the 6 a.m. set, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was like Nora and Pure, or someone was.
Oh my
Like,
gosh!
dude,
yeah,
amazing.
That's like the
Beautiful.
best set for 6 a.m.
Yeah, right.
Best vibes ever. Honestly, it was amazing vibes. And this club was jutting out of the beach and it was like on a dock, like going out into the water. So people were kind of strolling out. There was a lot of space. It was a beautiful sunrise set. And as the sun was up, we go in to start watching Nora and Pure. And then I turned right and I saw climbing off from the beach bank below the dock was our buddy with no shirt on. He had his shorts in his hand, and he was just climbing up, going walking around like this. Had no absolute idea, and he didn't even recognize us. We were like, "Hello, dude, we're here. We've been trying to look for you." And he kind of walked past us, and then we went and tapped him on the back, and he looked at us. He's like, "Oh shit, it's you guys!" And we're like, "Where have you been?" And so it turns out that he went with his group of girls somewhere, and then he completely blacked out and absolutely forgot. So I don't know if there was something that they gave him, but I've never seen somebody. It was honestly I'm just glad he's okay, but it was the funniest sight just watching someone stumble and crawl up the beach with missing shirts and stuff. We never found his shirt or anything like that, so it went somewhere. And then he was just yeah, I had a great time, but I truly don't remember what happened. And I was like, okay, well, we got to go to a yacht party in 6 hours, so let's get back home, find you some new shirts, and get going. But moral of the story is always keep track of your friends, and that's one thing that we kind of let down, where we probably should have stuck around, even if they're getting some room and you don't want to be a cock block. So
oh my gosh,
that's been a hell of a story.
Yeah. What day of the festival was that?
I think that was day 3.
Okay,
probably.
so right in the middle.
Right in the
I
middle.
was gonna say if that was the first day, that would have been crazy first day.
Yeah, no, not the first day. Not the first day. It was right on the 3rd day, so it was all right. But everything turned out fine after that, and he was okay.
Yeah.
But clearly, he must have had a good time. I wish we knew what type of good time he had, but we have no idea.
So it seems like that thing is ongoing. So how much sleep do you actually get during that festival?
It depends really on if you want to hit so they have yacht parties starting at noon, and then they have beach parties at 2. So it really depends. But we probably maybe got 3 hours of sleep a night, 4 hours of sleep, and we wanted to see everybody we possibly could. So we did do a yacht party. We only did 2 yacht parties, 1 yacht party actually. Sorry. But then we did beach parties the other day. So we were there till closing time. So it was 8 a.m. when we were leaving.
You got to make the most of it. That was me on Holy Ship. I went it was 3 days. I went to Holy Ship, and that was Holy Ship 2019. I got a total of 6 hours that entire time, because I was just I was so excited. And that same thing, it ends at 6 a.m. and then it starts right back up at noon, and I was just so excited, going all over the place, and you meet so many people. So I was just curious, because that's the same thing for me, just constant partying.
I would say that multi-day festivals are the true test of human strength.
Yes.
Because there is no experience quite like it. To be partying nonstop like that, surviving off of 2 chicken fingers a day, and getting 3 hours of sleep a night. Just hats off to all my partiers out there, all my festival goers, because that shit is a true test of human strength.
100%.
It was. And then on top of that, we had instead of taking Ubers and stuff like that, it was a nice walk. It was about a 1.5 mile walk, 2 miles each way. So it's not too much, but I mean, as you can imagine, at night and then coming back home in the morning,
those walks are
brutal.
deadly. Those walks can be brutal. Yeah, no doubt about it. Those long walks. I mean, even sometimes walking from your campsite from the festival back to your campsite, you're like, oh my god, it's so far away. God, yeah.
Yep.
No doubt. Sure. Are those yacht parties? I'm curious. Were the yacht parties anyone could get on them if you just got there in time, or were you did you have to buy a select ticket to get on the yachts?
Yeah, you had to buy tickets ahead of time. That way it wasn't too crowded. And it's funny, we actually saw Jax Jones again on that was the yacht party we did.
Dude, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys really do love
nice.
him. You saw him within like
I'm
8
jealous.
hours.
I've never seen him.
Oh, he's an absolute he's a king of vibes. That's what he is.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
he
on
really
my
knows.
list. On my
Yeah.
list to see.
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, it's like another quick little story from that when we were on the yacht party, and this just shows like what a stand-up proper guy. I mean, he's a true lad. Is that when people, it was kind of like on there, people weren't like, drinks were expensive and stuff. He was like, oh, since drinks are expensive and things, who wants a handle? And he literally threw a couple handles down from the DJ booth. So like there was the deck, and then you have like the DJ booth, which is on like the upper level. And he quite literally threw down like 2 handles to people. And then instead of just bringing girls up, he actually said, no, I want some lads up here. So he just picked random guys to come out like
Oh,
pros. and
hell
like, they're
yeah.
partying.
For the boys.
I'd be up
For the
there.
boys.
For the
So
So
boys.
iconic. That's awesome.
Indeed. And then he had to pee mid-set. So he had the people who come on before him. He was like, shit, I gotta go take a piss. Like he said that on the mic. Then he came down and like through the whole crowd. He was like, oh, okay, well, I got some extra tequila. The other guys hopped on and he was just pouring tequila down people's mouths like as he was going to the
Wow.
bathroom. So stand-up
Dude.
guy.
Watching DJs run off the booth to go pee is just like one of the funniest things because
Just-
Eric Prydz did this at the Brooklyn show in February 2019, I want to say, and just to see him just freaking bolt like right off the stage, just like barreling his way through the crowd while his obviously like 7-minute songs are playing. You know what I mean? Like it's just like one of the funniest sights you can see, dude.
It's just one of the most human things. Like you just are like, yeah, they're human too.
Totally.
Like DJ's got to go to the bathroom too.
They
That's
aren't
so
God,
funny.
you mean?
Yeah, right.
We all got needs. We all got bathroom needs. So,
Needs.
but dude, I love hearing about like your stories in Croatia, man. I really do because honestly, like Hideout just sounds like such a vibe, and I honestly have to say, like European festivals truly take it to the next level. Like they really do. Have you guys gone internationally yet, Ade and Babs?
It's on my list.
Yeah.
It's on my list. I'm thinking, I was telling Babs this, like next year, I really want to just grind and make a lot of money so that I could take summer off and just go do international stuff. Cause
There
I'm
you
just
go.
like,
There
Which
you
my
go.
heart
international
is
festivals?
craving. Tomorrowland for sure. And then I'm thinking about Envision, Costa Rica.
mhm.
And then I'm also thinking about like some Tulum stuff, Day Zero.
Tulum.
This hideout thing sounds
Mexico.
amazing. That Croatia yacht week, I've heard there's like yacht week there or
Yacht Week
something
is
like that.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yacht Week
something
is
like that.
definitely-
Want to go to Ibiza. I'm like down to go wherever, and then definitely want to go to Amsterdam Dance Event because
Ooh,
Aid goes to Aid just sounds like the best vlog title ever. So
That
You have
is
to.
so genius.
Book
Yeah.
it. Book it. You have to. This is destiny. It's calling you. Quite literally calling you.
literally, so that's calling my name. I don't know about you, Babs, if you have any you want to go to.
If I were to do anything, it would be like a European leg where I take some time off and I go see Europe as well as go to festivals. So that's how I would
Yeah.
plan it. But Tomorrowland for sure is one of those that be thrown in there. But yeah, I'd want to go where I could travel and not just do festivals. That's how I like to do my traveling. Even here in the States, when I do it, is like I want to go to a festival and then I want to see what's around the festival. So I'd like to stay, 2 or 3 more days, either before or after. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would do that with Europe. Definitely go travel around Europe, check out the different places like Italy, Greece, the Alps, stuff like that, and then as well get some festivals. My biggest though actually is not Tomorrowland. The one I really want to go to is Tomorrowland Winter, and not many people know about it.
Yeah,
yes.
I do so badly. But Samir, right over there, this bastard, he doesn't like the cold, so he won't go. Around.
I hate
It's
the cold.
indoors.
I don't-
It's just at a ski resort. You can do some of the stages indoors.
I know,
Just
but I
bundle
feel
up.
Okay. I gotta put my foot down right now, okay? Because
well.
no matter how many layers I wear, okay, no matter how many layers I wear, I can never get warm. And I got a fucking
One-
parka, I got the boots, I got the heavy duty socks, I got all
Samir.
that shit, I really do. But I refuse to go to anything winter. Like that's why I moved down to San Diego. Because I need to be warm and in the sun at all times.
Man, one press and you have your shirt off at 30-degree weather.
And just human will, man. You got the power, mind over matter, my friend. Come on, you
It's a
gotta.
nice little challenge.
Yeah, I'd rather not pay all that money to just freeze my ass off. It's just not gonna happen. Nobody can convince me. Alec is talking about the X Games, but
Snow globe.
Fine,
like-
us
Snow
three will go, and
globe.
Samir, you can get the Snapchats, okay?
you guys send those shits
We'll
to me,
bring
but
a flat Samir, a photo of him, and just
honestly,
carry him around Tomorrowland
one
Winter.
of those big blow up heads.
Yeah.
that is literally just as good as me actually being there in person. So I'm totally fine with that. But if we're kind of keeping on with this trend of like traveling Europe, I really want to talk about my time in Creamfields. Okay,
Ooh,
because
yes,
Oh, go
me
for it.
too.
Go for it.
oh my gosh, guys. So let me just start by saying that this was my first solo trip. This is my
Wow.
first camping trip, camping festival, I should say. And this was my first international festival. So just banging out all three of these in one trip was
Wow.
was quite the experience. So, got to London, right? My flight was delayed by 10 hours leaving New York. So like I got to London like it was a red eye, became a red eye.
Huh.
Quickly checked into my hostel, got some sleep, went to go see Virtual Self at a club in London, right? And then went back to my hostel for a couple hours to sleep, right?
Mhm.
And then I took the train up to Liverpool, okay? And I got on the shuttle, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fucking dope. Like, I'm really pumped up for this. Like, I don't know who I'm gonna meet, what's gonna happen. Let's just go with this adventure, right? So, get to the festival, set up my tent. Well, first of all, I dump out my tent, right? And here's a pro tip for all you festival attendees out there: check your fucking tent, okay? Because I opened up my tent that I brought, and the sticks were not in the freaking bag. So I'm like, okay, where am I going to sleep? What am I going to do, right? So luckily at the festival, right, they have a little camping shop, which is great, right?
Oh.
So they sold tents, one of which is waterproof and one of which is non-waterproof, okay? So the non-waterproof one is like 20 pounds cheaper, right? And I'm balling on a budget. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get the non-waterproof tent. And the cashier looks at me and he's just like, lad, are you sure you want to get the non-waterproof tent? I'm like, is this dude trying to upsell me? But you know what? Maybe I'll heed his warning, and I bought the waterproof tent. Thank God I did. Okay, because the UK people joke about, they're like, oh, it's gonna be mud at the festival. No, that shit is legit. Okay, that really does happen. Okay, so I'm setting up my tent and it's drizzling. I'm like, whatever, I can deal with some drizzle. Setting up my tent. First day, absolutely gorgeous day, having a blast. On the evening of the second night, I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, just rain pounding my tent, shaking my tent, right? And keep in mind, you're not sleeping at these things. So I definitely did not sleep at all that night. When I awoke, I could not believe it. All the grounds were mud, just straight up mud. I was slipping and sliding. People were literally like running and then diving into the mud,
Oh my
sliding
gosh.
in the mud, okay? And I shit you not, like I've just never seen so much mud in one place before. Like, it is just so gross.
Yeah.
Worst of all, and I'm ashamed to say this, but it's the truth. 3 years later, there's still mud on my LL Bean boots and on my suitcase because I was the freaking genius who was rolling around a suitcase through the mud and walking a mile to the campsite. Yeah. So look, I mean, overall, the whole experience of Creamfields was absolutely amazing. The people there, they love to party. They know how to party. They handle their shit well. And they just love dancing. That's the best
Yeah.
part about it. No matter what the weather is, they just get after it. And that's the best part about it. So I would just encourage everybody out there, if you get a chance, go travel internationally because the vibes of the festivals internationally are just so different from the US. It really is such a fun time.
Yeah.
Is Creamfields worth the mud?
It is absolutely worth the mud. But
Really?
you know what? I was so thankful that like I talked to people on Facebook before going. They're like,
Yeah.
pack your wellies, and I'm like, I don't know what wellies are. So I googled wellies on Google. I was like, okay, rain boots, got it. So I packed it. I brought ponchos and stuff just in case. And I'm so thankful that I did. But seriously, do your research before going to a festival you've never been to before because it could go from A to Z real quick.
Yeah, I've seen videos about Creamfields, and that's the biggest thing that I see. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
Like you with the cold, me with mud and
Okay.
like dirt, like oh, like I'm fine with camping festivals. I love camping festivals, but adding mud to that, I'm just
Yeah.
like, ooh, I don't
Everyone's
know
Well,
if I
that's
can
got
do
why
it.
that's why I left. See, Samir left. The cold of the northeast. I left the UK because of the mud.
I left
That's
the
what happened.
UK. That was good. It sounds like one of my country festivals, honestly. All that mud.
Yeah,
You're getting a
right?
little rowdy there. Did you wear your cowboy hat, Samir?
Dude, you know what? I really wish I packed it. I couldn't fit it in my
Dude,
suitcase,
they would have looked
man.
at
If I
you.
didn't pack the damn tent, I would have been able to fit my cowboy
Dude,
hat.
they would have
You
looked
would've-
at you and been like, so American.
People just would have taken the piss out of you, my friend. Oh my god.
I should have rocked up looking like Diplo. Okay, I'm talking big belt buckle, big 10-gallon hat. I think it would have been a lot of fun. People would have gotten a kick out of it, man.
You guys are funny. The mud. Oh gosh. I just remember when I was on the one festival I went to, which was like I said, a country festival with the mud, and we didn't even have boots. So I was like, and I remember people were losing shoes. Like the mud was so deep, like people were like,
Yeah.
someone went in like had a flip flop, and it came out. There was no flip flop. It was gone. and then I remember this one girl that we met this group of people and we were hanging with them. These guys, a wonderful group of people from Kentucky, and the one of the girls though was like just drunk and just was rolling around the mud. And no one else was rolling. First off, not all, but like she was. And then she like wanted to give a bunch of people hugs, and they were like, "Please get away from me! Like I don't want nothing to do with this mud."
Bro, I don't know what it is about the mud at festivals, but it just brings out everybody's like primitive behavior. and
Creature,
tendency.
yeah.
Yeah, they just all become disgusting animals. But you know what? We're all disgusting animals together. And I think there's something beautiful about that.
The most mud I've dealt with was Freaky Deaky 2018 or 2019, I want to say. It had just rained like that week. It had been raining all week, and same thing. You just see people crawling in the mud, and like I wore these brand new combat boots, and they got ruined. And like, oh, it was 2018 because then 2019 it happened again, and I was like, nope, I'm wearing different shoes this time. I'm not ruining my boots. Like, just adds a whole nother layer to it to worry about.
You have
But
your
you know what?
wellies.
That's a great tip right there. Don't bring new shoes to
Yeah.
festivals that you know.
Oh,
that they get dirty in.
definitely don't do that.
Yep,
I have a
I
pair of
learned my
shoes.
lesson.
I have a pair of shoes that are my shitty festival shoes, and let me tell you,
Yep.
they got holes in them. They got everything. You can't even sneak anything inside those shoes because they'll just fall out the holes in them.
That's so funny. What would you say is the biggest difference between UK festival goers and US festival goers?
Totally. And I've talked to Alec about this so many times, but the number one thing, right, is that the lads in the UK, like, they'll take everything under the sun. Like, they'll take every single powder or pill and drink and whatever, tab, whatever. They'll take it all. And
At
they
once?
always hold their shit together. They
Wow.
always just somehow hold their shit together. I've never once seen anybody like at Creamfields just like, you know, having to kind of like, you know, kind of knees between the legs. You know the look, right? Just like
Yeah.
completely out of it. And look, we all get there, right? And like that shit is unfortunate when it happens, totally. But the thing with these people in the UK is like, I guess because they start drinking when they're younger, and maybe they just kind of build a tolerance so they know how to handle themselves and what their limits are. But they'll take everything and they'll be totally fine throughout the whole day, and they don't start shit. They don't start shit, and that's the best part. Like, I never see any fights break out.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just people just down there to have a good time and dance. That's what it's all
That's
about.
awesome.
Yeah.
And same thing with attire, right? There's difference. Like, is it more casual, would you say, compared to like the rave outfits and that kind of stuff?
I think it's very different. I think
Different.
it's very, very
Okay.
different. So, you know, we kind of just talked about like don't wear new shit to festivals, right? But that I feel like only applies to like shoes. Because when it comes to like people actually like, you know, their attire that they wear at festivals, I feel like I've seen a lot of designer attire at international festivals. I see Alec is shaking
Huh.
his head, so maybe I think maybe Alec is agreeing with me here. He's our UK expert. But I've seen a lot of like Stussy, for instance. I've seen a lot of like, you know, different streetwear brands that, you know, easily are costing $60, $70 a t-shirt. While,
Wow.
you know, obviously in the US, people put on a lot more flashy outfits, more coordinated outfits.
Yeah.
I think the UK and the US attire are just very different.
Yeah. I was just curious about that because I've heard differences. So I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah. But I encourage everybody, get out there, travel internationally, meet some dope people. You know, Alec met some dope people out in Croatia. I met a really good friend at Creamfields who, you know, we live in the same city now, and you know, we link up.
Small world. It's just a small world, right? Even
Yeah.
when you go
Yeah.
international, like you'll find people will just be a small world. Like I just remember actually from one of my Mexico trips, I may even be going to some type of festival that just people I met on the beach who were just traveling there all around, and so they've been inviting me to like Argentina and like
Wow.
different South American festivals and stuff too. So once you just meet people internationally, you'll find like, you know, there are backpackers around and stuff. And
Yeah.
then someone we met at Croatia, or rather on the way back, our buddy again, like on the way back from Croatia, there's someone who's now DJing at a festival coming up in Holland. So just shows you a small world.
Yeah, and you never know who you're gonna meet, and that's so awesome. Like getting to meet people from different backgrounds and different interests and everything like that. That's so cool. And you guys have a story together, but I'm curious, how did you guys meet? How many festivals have you guys gone together? I want to know a little bit of that before we get into your stories together.
Give us the background of the dynamic duo.
Alec, you want to take this one?
Yeah, first I'm just trying to think so festivals, not as many festivals as like club nights and stuff. So we used to go to like a lot of club nights in New York when we were both back on the East Coast. So I was just trying to think, 4 festivals is it?
Yeah, I think you got it, man. 4 festivals.
2 EDCs, an Ultra. We went to Mad Decent as well. Well, is there another one?
I think that's it. I think you got it.
I think that's it, right? And then just like I can't even count like the club nights. So I'm not even gonna count that. So many, so many club nights. But we first met in college. So we both went to Rutgers in New Jersey.
Nice.
And we were in the same fraternity, and our first like real interaction kind of together was acting as we were co-social chairs for the fraternity. So we were putting on events, DJing, doing whatever, and then we were like, and then we found out we kind of had a similar appreciation for dance music, and then just from there it just took off. And then we also did a spring break Cancun trip as well together. That was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, that was a really
good time. Yeah,
that's so funny.
Over the course of that year, Alec and I just got so close to each other, and I was like, "Yo, are you going to Cancun?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Want a room?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." So that was such a fun trip, and that was our first time traveling together. And I mean, this is my fucking G over here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
like we've just been through all of it together, and I think there's just something so special about like how festivals bring people closer together. I think it's amazing.
Totally.
Without a doubt.
I was also social chair of my sorority.
Oh, there you
So
go.
I was a social chair, so that made me laugh. Which fraternity?
We were in Deke, Delta Kappa Epsilon.
Oh, okay. We had Deke. I went to Arizona State, and we had Deke too. So
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
that's
Yeah,
so
Arizona
funny.
State, I heard, is a fun place.
Good time. Yeah. Definitely took some years off my life, but it's fine.
Yeah, I feel you. For some reason, I decided to do social chair 3 times.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I only did it one year, and I was like,
Oh,
I'm
God.
good.
Yeah.
That's so funny.